So happy, so happy to speak about this on this topic. So first time in a private jet. Okay, so I wanted to tell you all the details. If you're considering it, first of all, I want to say that if you're already considering it, it's something you have to do once in a lifetime for sure. I mean, for me, as a first time experience, it was something just like, oh my God, like some really experience, you know. If you are flying from childhood on private planes, maybe you don't feel the same I felt, you know, maybe for you it's just normal, but for somebody who really wanted to experience that, for sure, you can even stop watching this video and go and book your private jet now. Okay, and I was thinking, should I also mention the company I was flying with or not, you know, not to make some advertisement or something. Well, I will mention it. So I was flying with Globe Air. I don't like promote it, or I don't give you any guarantees about the company. It's just the company I was flying with. So yes, the experience. So why I chose that company is because it was very easy to immediately book the flight. So when you go on their website, you can, so normally when you find those websites where you can book a private jet, they give you just an estimate, and a lot of them I found that the prices were very small in comparison, but then they actually give you the real quote and it's 3 times more. So what I liked on the Globe Air, that you can immediately fix the price. You can book it online, pay immediately, and it's done. Later in the invoice, I also saw, good tip for you, that I got a discount because of the day of the week. And I don't know which which day it was, because no, actually, wait a minute, no, it was Saturday, so day of the week. I guess if it's a weekend, then it's a bit cheaper. And also another little discount of 70 euro. So the discount of the day of the week, it was 200 euro. The discount of an early booking was 70 euro, early booking, but I booked it maybe 2 weeks in advance, so they probably consider it as early, so good for me. Otherwise, so our flight was in Europe. It was from Luxembourg to Milan. Normally it's a short flight, no, sorry, other way around, because we flew there on a normal plane, but we came back with the private jet. Yes, so with the big plane, it took us around 1 hour. I think it was like exactly 1 hour. With the private jet, I guess as it's smaller, so it normally was supposed to take a little bit longer. And the company, they sent me some kind of invoices and program, you know, and in the first one, it was stated that it's 1 hour 15, the flight duration, 1 hour 15 to go back from Milan to Luxembourg. And later it was recalculated, it was 1 hour 35, so whatever, okay, approximately. I think in any case you pay minimum 2 hours. If the flight is shorter, I'm too excited. So if the flight is shorter, I think you still have to pay for 2 hours. So now the price. The price was per person around 3,000 euro per person. So we were 2. So in total it was 6,160 euro. Now the jet, I wanted that it's a real private jet, not with the propellers, if you know what I mean, with normal engines, not a propeller one. So I think it was maybe a little bit more expensive than the propeller ones. I am not sure, because with some companies I checked it was the other way around, and with this one I think the propeller one was a little bit cheaper, but I didn't want to have a propeller one. So yeah, I chose this plane, so it's, I hope I pronounce it properly, Cessna Mustang, Cessna Citation Mustang, and the numbers. So it's a 4-person plane, and if there would be somebody else who would fly with us, like until 4 people, they would just have to pay additional taxes per person of 150 euro per person, 150 or 200 euros, something like that. So it's just the taxes, little tax portion which adds up. So it's not like, 2 people 6,000 and 3 people 8,000. No, it's just the little tax portion which adds. And we had 2 pilots. So, okay, the experience of the airport. Let's talk about this first. So, okay, first of all, when we went to Milan, the usual airport stuff, you come there 2 hours in advance, then you have all the lines and passport control and everything. With private jet, oh my God, like already the airport I chose was just 20 minutes away. The other airport, took us around 1 hour by bus, by a special bus. There's like, they have from the airport to the central station, I think, or was it? Yeah, I think it was central station. From Milan airport, the bigger one, to the central station, it was 1 hour drive. The private Linate airport in Milan took us 20 minutes by taxi, by car, basically. So they told us to be there 15 minutes before the flight, which is so amazing. Can you imagine, like 15 minutes, you arrive 15 minutes before your flight? Like there is security. There is security. You still have to go through the security. But I mean, my husband, he was like, should I take out the laptop? And they were like, no. They didn't check passports, by the way. I'm sorry if I'm speaking now about some confidential information, but normally, of course, I sent all the passport details in advance to the company. Like I really had to make a photo of the passport. It's not just like you write the details and that's all. No, really, like photo of the passports, both passports, and a little bit more details, I felt like. But then when we were at the airport, it was fine. We didn't even have to show passports, I guess. So we just went through the security and we just had to wait a little bit in a small area, like a private area. And then later they told us, okay, we can go to the plane. So that airport, it was small. It was mostly for private planes. And you could see from the window that there were a lot of nice private planes, which was amazing. I don't know why I didn't take a photo of that. Okay, well, then we went to the plane, to our plane. And of course, we had to make so many photos, and I was like, can we take photos? And our pilot was so nice. By the way, I forgot to mention one detail. We were even able to change our flight time. So as we arrived to Milan, I thought that we will be a bit tired on the first day, but in the end, we did all our shopping, or all our Christmas gifts shopping and gifts and clothes and everything. We did it on the first day, and on the last day, I have booked our flight in the evening, because I thought, okay, we might want to spend another full day in Milan. But in the end, in the evening of the previous day. We were sitting at the bar in our hotel, and I was like, I wish I wish that our flight was maybe a little bit earlier, you know, because what are we going to do? The hotel checkout is at 12, and then what we do, okay, we eat, and then what, the airport is just 20 minutes away, so we don't need to, you know, prepare 3 hours in advance. So and we were talking with my husband, and he said, well, maybe we can ask. I thought, I don't know. And then I opened WhatsApp, which is also nice that with the Globe Air, you can really directly communicate through WhatsApp, and they have 24-hour customer service. So, and I opened the WhatsApp, our chat, and I saw that the last time I spoke to them was like on a day, on some day at 11 at night. At 23, you know, 11 at night, basically. They were replying to me at night, and that was also around 10, 11 o'clock in the evening on the day we were sipping our non-alcoholic cocktail because I'm pregnant. It was, by the way, my last trip on a plane before I was not allowed anymore. Or maybe with a private jet, maybe you are, I'm not sure. But for me, it was 30, when I came back, I think it was 34 weeks. And the limit with normal plane, I think it's like 35 or 38. So voila, another little thing to keep in mind if you're pregnant. Maybe with the private plane, maybe there are different rules that I didn't check, but I just assumed that it's fine. Okay, so basically we were sipping our cocktails, and I said, okay, I'll just try them. So normally our flight was at 7 in the evening the next day, and I said, can we go at 4? At first I was like, can we just like by 1 hour earlier or 2 hours? And the guy replied, I don't know who, just an agent, I guess. So he said, just tell me when you want. And I was like, at 4 ideally. They said, no problem. Immediately, like, okay, from our end, it's fine. Oh my God, it's just so amazing, really. Honestly, it's just so nice. So we just changed our flight time to 4. They also mentioned that maybe there might be, if there's no problem with the airports, with both airports, then it's fine. But from our end, it's fine, they confirmed. But I don't know, you know, maybe sometimes there are weather conditions or something else, and maybe the airport could have said, no, it's not possible. But in our case, everything was fine. They told us, if there's a problem, we write you in the morning the next day. Nobody contacted us in the morning, so we assumed that everything's fine, and that's how it was. So the weather in Milan was perfect. On the day when we had to fly, the weather was very good. And by the way, 1 week before that, Milan was flooded, actually. Like, they had rain level per day. The amount of rain was like in 1 month, the same amount as they would have in 1 month, something like that. And I was like, shit, you know, I'm also pregnant, and oh my God, how it will be. And I want that it's ideal because it's kind of the last trip we have before I have to give birth and everything, and it will be not fun anymore later. We cannot have anything we cannot even, you know, leave by car somewhere further from the hospital. And yeah, but on the day when we were flying, it was perfect weather. And just in Luxembourg, apparently, it was very, very bad. By the way, another little thing. So when we got the itinerary, the initial itinerary, the pilots, the names were different. I think because I changed the time, they changed the pilots. So when we met them, I now I just realized that it was somebody else, but the pilot was like amazing. So when we went to the plane, you remember I said that I wanted to take some photos. The pilot said no problem. He took photos of us, near the plane, like this and like this, like, And I was like, okay, can my husband now take photos of me? And they said, no problem, you can do. They took all our bags, they put it in the plane. While we are putting the bags, no, I think they put the bags. Yeah, they put the bags first and then we went to the plane. That's how it was. So while they were preparing, we still had some time to take photos. And keep in mind, it was 15 or half an hour maybe before the departure. We had to be there, maybe not 15 minutes, because I'm just thinking how much we did, like we were there, we went through security, we waited a little bit, then we had plenty of time to take our photos. So in any case, I mean, 30 minutes or 15 minutes approximately, you have time. Okay, then we sat in the plane, and our pilot was French, the co-pilot, or like how is it called, second officer? It was a woman, actually. Oh, it was a woman, but no, she was good. So yeah, and they prepared us mentally, they prepared us psychologically that we might not even land in Luxembourg because of weather conditions. So apparently in Luxembourg it was very, very, very foggy, and yeah, it was very foggy. And because of the regulations, because I asked them, so okay, is it because our plane is private and it's very small or something, or is it for everyone? And they said no, it's for all the planes. If you don't see some amount of meters, then you cannot land. And we might even land in another city, which is I think 1 hour from Luxembourg, but then they would organize all the transportation. Okay, so they said the first portion of the flight will be fine, but then in the end it might be bumpy. Bumpy, and I'm like, oh, with a small plane, with the big one you might feel less, but if it's a small plane and it's bumpy, so I didn't know what to expect. But okay, I mean, I'm there already, so what should I should I say? No, I'm not flying. No. And I mean, they will not fly if it's really dangerous. Okay, so then the interesting part was that we, with the big plane, you have to drive for a long time, and then you go up slowly. And here it was just like it took just like a couple of minutes and we were already up in the air. And yeah, and it was perfect. I mean, we had to put belts, we had the belts through the whole trip. Now you can see some photos, often you see photos, videos of planes, private planes where they don't wear any belt. But here, I don't know, either it's because of those weather conditions or something, but I also checked the turbulence map. I also do that in advance, and I saw that on the route from Milan to Luxembourg, there will be no turbulence. So there was no turbulence, it was true, but we still had to, I don't know, I didn't even ask, can I remove the belt? But we had the belt through the whole flight, and the belt is like in the car. It's not like on a plane, but it's like a, real car belt. And they had some little snacks, and as we were going from Italy, they had Italian cookies, and then later they proposed some drinks. However, on that little plane, apparently there is no toilet, there is no real toilet, lavatory. So they have this emergency toilet meaning that, well, there's like a hole and you just put a curtain So when they proposed something to drink, I said no, because I was not sure. Also with the pregnancy, the belly is pushing. Um, Basically you want to pee more, and I said no, it's fine. But my husband had some water, tea he had, so it was really nice. They had a little like a cover in case it's cold, and I actually put a cover because it got a little bit cold, and they saw, and I think they turned on a little bit the heating. So really, like, everything for you, what you want, you get. And for the belt, I don't know if it was because of the weather or because of the short flight or something. So for the flight duration also, the pilot, he said that it will be 1 hour 42 minutes. 1 hour 42. Okay, and I was like, I thought it's 1 hour 15. He said no, because of the winds, because of the weather conditions, it's longer. By the way, in the end it was 1 hour 21 or something. 1 hour 21, yeah. So we were faster. Okay, so, and yeah, normally the whole flight was very nice. And then later, by the end, we entered in a foggy area, like really foggy, like you don't see anything. But it was still fine. It was no turbulence, nothing. Just in the very end, by the way, they didn't tell us. They said, if there is a problem, we tell you. So they didn't say anything. So they just, in the end, told us to put the table, inside. And then we understood that, okay, we're landing basically. So it was fine to land. Just before the landing, oh my God, there you really feel that when the plane is small, you really feel all the winds. It was really like this, But I would say I felt even more safe than with the big plane, because when there's wind and the big plane, it just gets like swooshed, like you feel it more here. And let's keep in mind that it was foggy. You see nothing. They see everything on their screen, but you basically see nothing. It was so foggy, and we were like this by the end, just before the landing. But I don't know, I felt like if it was almost me who is controlling the plane, and I was not scared or something. It was very, very fine. I felt the experience was very nice. I felt safe and everything. And then we landed, it was fine. Then they basically took our bags immediately. And we landed in the same airport, yes, Luxembourg airport, but different terminal. So the terminal was for the private flights, I guess. Again, like, they took out all the bags. I just talked too much. So they took our bags. While they were taking our bags, we did again 100 photos inside the cabin. And actually, it's good that I changed the flight time for the photos, because if it was at 7, there would have been no sun anymore, and then I couldn't have taken some nice photos just before the flight. So at 4 it was good, plus it was kind of almost wintry, yeah, like end of November, so of course the sun goes down faster, and it was good choice to have the flight earlier if you want to take 100 photos, right? Like I wanted. Yeah, and okay, then we arrived, and we were like, oh, thank you so much, it was so nice, the experience was so nice. And I'm like, it's our first time, and the pilot was like, oh yeah. I think he thought that, because in the end it was really bumpy, he thought that, okay, that was not the perfect flight. But for me, I mean, it's something you have to do once in your life. If you want, then you do it. And in the end, it was not so scary. The bumpy part was not so scary. Yeah, so they took out all our bags. We went out. There was some reception inside the terminal, and we just looked at each other with the workers and like, okay, we just go, nothing. So we just went through. And then a funny thing is that we actually asked my husband's, how to say, asked, or she proposed, or we asked to pick us up from the airport. However, her phone was off and we couldn't tell her that we land earlier, and she didn't know that we were on a private jet, so she didn't assume that the flight time could have changed by 3 hours early. Normally it's late but not early, and the terminal was not the same as for all the normal people, huh? But I mean, don't get insulted because we took low cost to go to Milan, okay? So yeah, basically we arrived there and my husband's mom is not there, obviously, and her phone is off, and we cannot tell her even that we are there already, so she doesn't have to come, not taking into consideration that the terminal is completely different. But somebody asked for taxi, and the person, the prince, was not ready to drive, to take the taxi. So it was just like there for us. The taxi was free. I like this trip. Our trip was the journey. Also, it was just perfect, from the beginning till the end, till the taxi. It was perfect. So we just grabbed that taxi and went straight home, where my husband's mom was, and she was shocked that we came back too early. And later we told her that it was private jet, that's why the time difference and everything. She was like, oh, so impressed, she was like, oh. So it's cool. I mean, when you say to people, to I will not say now to normal people, I will say maybe to those who don't even consider taking a private plane. We all have dreams. Somebody has a dream to buy a flat. Somebody has had a dream to take a trip to Titanic on a Titan which exploded. And it's expensive and it's something special. It's not everyone wants to experience that. And I felt like when you tell people, either they don't know how to react, because if somebody told me, oh my God, Christina, I took a private plane, I would be like, oh my God, tell me everything, tell me everything. How was it? I want so much. But to those people who I told, they were like, I don't know, either they didn't want to show that they are impressed, or it's shocking, or it's just difficult to comprehend the experience. Most of the time they were like, why would you do that? It's just so expensive. Or they don't understand. Like my husband's sister, she was later saying, did Christina have some problem with pregnancy or something? Did they give you this jet? So it's interesting because when you say it in this way, they are a little bit shocked. Like my husband's mom, she was a bit, I don't know, later she wrote him something like, oh my God, it's impressive. But the first reaction is just, they don't know how to react. So just saying. So voila, if you have any other questions about the private jet, let me know in the comments, I will answer. Otherwise, otherwise I would say if you have opportunity to take a bigger plane, then it's better, of course, than the smallest one, comfort wise. And otherwise, of course, when you pay more and it's private, of course the comfort levels are amazing. And and just to say that with the other companies, when I was researching, it was mainly like agents, so the price was a bit bigger also. But with Globe Air, I'm not sure. I think they have their own jets, yes, so it was a bit cheaper also. Not so much, but still a little bit cheaper. Depends, of course, where you are in in the world, and from where to where you want to fly. You know, they probably would suggest to you better which plane to take, you know, and everything. So yeah, so that's all. Otherwise, see you in the comments if you have any questions. Bye bye.